and I'm thinking of timescale. We had a really interesting question that caught my eye, shall we say, around how do PI insurers think about AML fines? And I thought that's actually a question that I've not seen kind of come up particularly before or be asked. What would your response there be, in your experience?
Do you know what? I'm really glad you asked that because I had a text conversation with a broker friend of mine before the webinar because I just didn't know the answer.
Yeah.
Um, and he said to me that that insurers most definitely are interested. It probably wouldn't affect premium as such, um, but it might well affect their appetite to insure in the first place.
Mm.
So, so they do look at these things, and particularly if there's a pattern of regulatory issues that this fits into, then it could well have an insurance implication.
Yeah, yeah. I just wrote down to myself in response that it can lead to the insurers forming a view of the firm as being a higher risk firm, which kind of feeds into what you just said there. And it, it could result in higher premiums depending, but actually it could have more stringent policy terms that I mean the impact is kind of unknown until maybe you know the extent of the fine maybe or the reasons why, and whether it was systemic, whether it's being fixed, and kind of all those different things that would feed in. Um, yeah, I think it's super interesting to think about though, isn't it? And um, to think about the impact and actually the impact of a fine with anything. Like, I mean, if you think about yourself with like your personal insurances, there's always an impact, even if you have a car accident and it's not your fault, and they say it won't affect your insurance. What you do often find when you come to reinsure is that actually it does have small impacts, on your actual insurance as well, even where you weren't at fault. So I think, yeah, super interesting to think about. And for me, I always find that if you're asking those kind of questions and source of funds, I always say this out loud, is always think about those personal situations and how you would how it would cross over, and transfer into these kind of situations as well.